All right, a very anticipated package. I am going to be opening this with the new flame that I just got. And nice little cuts here and here on the tape, except I actually cut the cardboard. While I do this, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell. Tell your mom I say hi. Tell your mom you say hi. She doesn't know me, unless she does, in which case, hi, my friend's mom. Sorry, I'm trying not to show my address. Let's get this open, shall we? And also check out the coffee in the description. A little bit goes a long way. It's like a little Patreon donation, but only one, so you don't have to worry about subscription and then forgetting, oh no. So yeah, you could donate like $3, $5. It helps. In here, we have more tape. More tape. Always tape. Always good bubble wrapping. This is from Bally Buddy, who, Bally Buddy 8987, I think. He has so many knives for sale. So you've probably seen them before if you're on Knives on Secondary or the Balisong Marketplace. But here we have a Spyderco. And not only that, we have... Ooh, this is finally a Paramilitary 2 by Spyderco. Often considered like the EDC knife, one of the workhorse knives. This is the Blade HQ exclusive version with purple aluminum handles. They're very grippy. It currently weighs 3.53 ounces. Makes sense. I think it's a little less if you have the G10 handles, but I don't know because the G10 handles also have steel liners. This is a CTS BD1N blade, which I think is like pretty... It's like good, but not like amazing. That's the impression that I get. And it has the stock spoon clip, but I am waiting for a Lynch clip to arrive. There's also another Spyderco PM2 that I'm tempted to try and scoop up, just replacing the blade, but I don't even know. That might just be a waste of money. This one is, yeah, it's made in Golden, Colorado, USA. The other one I saw was SV90, or S90V, I should say. And it has a compression lock. The compression locks are never as comfortable as I want them to be, but I am also thinking about this will be like my sort of, I'll kit this out and make it real nice. And so I'm gonna get one of those compression lock made easy, maybe from Etsy, because I hear some people like those instead, and it's a little cheaper. But right now the opening action is really good. The closing action, ooh, hello. Closing action is being a little bit finicky. Like it doesn't. Oh, that actually worked really well. I'll eat my words. I don't know. I guess you just have to hold it all the way in. Thankfully, this one, it's barely flushed with the handle. So like, if your finger is like kind of poking through a little bit because you're like pressing really hard down, you might get hit by the horn. But if you do, it's like not painful compared to the Shaman and especially the Yo Jumbo. Oh my god, the Yo Jumbo hurts. I'm gonna get that fixed up. PM2 also has a nice little thumb ramp up here, jimping. You can choke up if you want to do nice little things, nice precise cuts. And there's real intense grooves down here. It's like actually kind of painful. I'm not gonna lie. These grooves underneath here, they're a little rough. They're a little coarse, but it's, I would say, pretty safe because there's a big old horn out here that prevents you from getting hit from the base of the blade. I wouldn't even say there's a choil. It just doesn't really exist on this. But otherwise, ergos are quite comfortable. Here, you know, you just have your index fingers going here, and nice curves around here. You can get a really good grip on it. There is four-way clip. You know, tip up or tip down, and left or right, and a lanyard hole. But I probably won't fill the lanyard hole. I know some people like to get little plugs for them, and some people like to put little paracord things with beads on them. I'll probably do neither because that requires money or getting paracord. And I am bleeding more on my knife because I should have used a fucking band-aid, but it's my own knife and I'm keeping this one. And I want to compare it also with the Mannix 2 and the Shaman. So the PM2 and the Mannix 2 are roughly the same size in terms of the cutting edge, I guess, is a little longer, but the overall blade length is roughly the same. Handles on the Mannix are a little shorter. I think the PM2 is just a smidge longer, but I do think the Mannix might be heavier. Let me double check. Oh, yeah. Mannix is 4.87 ounces. This is the G10, and I do have aluminum scales, so if you want to double check what I weighted in at when I first got it. I also have the Shaman, which I know is like 5 ounces, but the Shaman is more of a heavy duty knife. PM2 is kind of an all-arounder. Once again, oh no, this blade, roughly the same amount of cutting edge. I do remember saying that, like, I feel like where my thumb sits on the Shaman, I don't really like because it's just sort of like in this groove and it like kind of slides down. PM2, where my hand sits, there's certainly more surface area. I don't know. I'm trying to think about it. I can push up on the thumb ramp without it being uncomfortable. If I do just sit here, it actually does sit kind of back here comfortably. But it does have the heel of my thumb on the compression lock area. The Shaman, it's like, I don't know. I still think the base of it is like a little uncomfortable, and I do have it back here. And if I want to, I can push up to the end of the jimping. But yeah, the Shaman is more heavy duty, and if you do want to choke up, it's actually, I would say, more comfortable than it is on the PM2. PM2 is kind of like the all-arounder. There's also, of course, the Para 3, which I think is really annoying because there's the military, and then there's the Paramilitary 2, and then there's the Para 3, and there's just like, have a consistent naming convention, please. I think military and the military 2, at least. And the Paramilitary 2, I don't know if there's Paramilitary 1. I don't think there is. Might just be the military. That would be so annoying. But yeah, Shaman. Yeah, I think the Shaman is maybe more comfortable than I initially gave it credit for. But ergos are nice on all of these. Let me double check the Mannix actually, because I find that the ergos on the Yojumbo are not comfortable. The Mannix does have a little bit more of like this sort of curvature for your fingers than difference for them, and there's also like this intense underneath jimping on like the whole knife. Just these liners are full of jimping, both here and a little bit here. But the Mannix does have the advantage of this entire thumb ramp, which also has an insane amount of jimping, as well as over here on the actual blade. This entire thumb area is jimped, and so I think the Mannix could be like a really good also daily driver between the PM2 and the Mannix 2. Some people prefer the Mannix 2. But I also have some issues with the axis lock on that. Not axis locks in general, it's just that one. But yeah, I think this is going to be really fun. Again, I am mostly just buying these to play with them, not actually to cut with. So yeah, but hey, it's a fun collection thing. So let's see. I am having a good time. Yeah, once I get used to it. I'm so used to pulling my finger away from the compression lock because the Shaman and the Yojumbo and even the Lil Native to an extent have little bits sticking out when you close it. The Akuchi does not, but the Akuchi is also tiny compression lock, and so I find that the you kind of have to keep it pressed all the way down for it to shut close, and I'm using like literally the nail of my middle finger. With the PM2, I have to get used to being able to I can just hold it all the way down. And there's a little bit of contact that it hits with my fingers, but it's not painful at all. It's very satisfying. Clunk! I don't know. Let's see if I can get that again. Nope, maybe that came through. Anyways, I finally have a Paramilitary 2. The only Balisong, or the only folding, the only The only Spydercos I'm still trying to get is a salt dragonfly and a salt ladybug. Specifically the H2 versions. I want to use those to shuck oysters because I realized that my Lucho, which I was using before, is a steel that can rust. So that's not good because oysters are salty, as you can imagine. I will eventually, once I get hopefully those, I will make a video of my Spyderco collection, and I'll talk about how I feel about each one. And I think I'll also eventually do a gentleman knives video to compare my thoughts on them as well. But yeah, I don't think I want a Para 3. The Para 3 is just I don't know. I feel like it's too redundant with the Para 2 and the lightweight version I was interested in, specifically the salt version because it's magnet cut. But a lot of people seem to fucking hate the lightweight versions. They don't like how the action feels. But I don't know. I feel like I might not bother with a Para 3. And I know that there are other compression locks. I've largely been collecting just the compression lock versions, though I do have the Mannix. I might try and get a Yojimbo too, but I don't know. Is there a point when I just find the Yojimbo so satisfying because of how big it is? Though the Yojimbo 2 does not apparently have this little bit that sticks out, and I think the ergos and the hand are more comfortable because this shit is shaped a little bizarre. I'll talk about that too. But yeah, I don't know. There's other ones. There's the Chaparral. There's the Sage. There's things that are related to those. Like there might be a little Sage, but that might just be the little native. I think there's a regular, just native. I don't know. At some point, it starts becoming a little too redundant. And I mean, if I already thought that, like, wow, having more than one pocket knife is kind of redundant, right? And yet here I am. So thanks for tuning in. I will eventually do a Spyderco collection comparison. If you have a used H2 Dragonfly and or a used H2 Ladybug, please let me know. I'm in the market. I'm looking for one. Yes, I know that they're available, but I'm also a bargain hunter, and not everyone is probably using theirs. Yeah, that is the situation. So thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. I should be holding my knives up in front of the camera. This has been the Paramilitary 2.